Hello, welcome to the ERG Show Training Center. We've got a few samples of our e-learning videos here for you. Hopefully you'll enjoy them, but also learn a few things.
A 6-minute lesson in maintenance backlog.
One of the primary functions of maintenance management is to have the right amount of resources at the right place and at the right time. This is completed through backlog management. Backlog management is balancing the volume of work with labor resources to support the priorities of the organization. Backlog is calculated by dividing the volume of work in hours by the average available labor hours during a typical week, resulting in weeks of backlog. Or said differently, how many weeks would it take to complete everything if that were the sole focus of the workforce? The available labor should not be based on straight time, but instead deduct items such as breaks, lunches, typical meeting time, average absenteeism, average vacation, etc., to get a more accurate picture of true labor availability. The forecast. The forecast is future work, which is represented by the clouds. This includes all engineered asset management plans, including PMs, PDMs, lubrication routes, other work yet to be identified, and customer requests. The raindrops coming from the clouds represent the individual work request being submitted for approval as work orders. Not all work requests will be approved. Therefore, not all raindrops will be allowed to enter the funnel. Once the work is approved, it can enter the funnel as total backlog, or in the case of preventive and predictive maintenance, it will enter and travel the PM/PDM straw. The funnel. The funnel is an appropriate device to show correlation between an organization's maintenance backlog because of its shape and how it interacts with liquids. If you pour liquid into the funnel at a higher rate than the liquid can flow through the funnel, the level will rise, possibly filling the top or even overflowing. If the volume of work hours in your backlog is greater than the organization's ability to effectively execute the work based on the number of maintenance resource hours and equipment downtime availability, then the backlog will grow and become unmanageable, and work will get lost through spillage. The neck of the funnel in this analogy is our maintenance resource hours. It is like a valve where we control the outgoing flow of work into the weekly schedules. If we don't open the valve enough by having enough resource hours to execute the approved work in a timely manner, our backlog will continue to grow. On the flip side, if we have it too far open, with too many available maintenance resources, then we will run out of ready and then total backlog. Total backlog. Total backlog is simply stated as all approved work currently in the planning process. Total backlog should not exceed 6 weeks. Best practice facilities typically average a range between 4 and 6 weeks of total backlog. Ready backlog. Ready backlog consists of all work orders that have been completely planned and all parts have been ordered, received, and kitted. The work can be executed at any time, but is preferably scheduled to achieve the highest possible labor efficiency. Work cannot progress from the total backlog to the ready backlog until all materials have been received and kitted. Best practice facilities typically require 2 to 4 weeks from approval to the successful completion of a work order. The preventive and predictive maintenance straw. The maintenance straw provides a direct path from the clouds, or forecast, to the scheduling buckets, or process, for all preventive and predictive maintenance work orders. Equipment maintenance plans that reside within the CMMS or EAM are pre-approved as part of the Engineered Asset Maintenance Plan. Most of the work orders generated as part of these Engineered Asset Maintenance Plans require only resource hours. Best practice facilities typically release these work orders in their CMMS for scheduling 4 weeks in advance to ensure these preventive and predictive activities are the first work orders in the scheduling buckets. The combination of preventive and predictive work orders should not normally exceed 30% of any weekly schedule. PMs, PDMs travel directly through the maintenance straw to the schedule buckets based on their scheduled date. The neck. The neck represents the work execution capacity of the organization in resource hours. Unlike the traditional funnels, which have fixed necks, which provide a consistent flow through the funnel, the neck of our work management funnel is adjustable. As you can see, The neck of our funnel can widen and narrow to effectively balance the workflow. The actual workflow can be adjusted to achieve the desired balance between a 4 to 6 week ready backlog and the available resource hours to maintain this balance. Occasionally, this balance can be compromised by either a large influx of new work orders in the ready backlog or a reduction in available hours to execute the work. Current week's bucket. The current week schedule is represented by the bucket that flows out to 7 smaller valves, one for each day of the week. Since maintenance supervisors live in a very dynamic environment, they must make fine adjustments to the current schedule from time to time, and this is done within the week of execution. Future schedule buckets. Based on the scheduling commitment as determined by your CMMS, work orders will be placed in the appropriate bucket up to 4 weeks in the future. The remainder of work orders for the future schedules are determined during a scheduling meeting between the maintenance scheduler and the asset ownership. The future work buckets should be approximately 75% filled 2 weeks out, 50% filled 3 weeks out, and about 30% filled 4 weeks out, the 30% being made up of PM and PDM activities driven by the maintenance schedule.